Hi viewers, you are most welcome back here and we will be going for this Kotlin. In this video, we will be covering about the conditional statements and let us start because for each and every language whatever you are using, so you know the importance of these conditional statements. So it checks some condition, if the condition is satisfied, some statement will be executed, if not maybe other statement will be executed. Now let us start with the if condition. So we start with the same program, same package 1, and I started the main function here because the main thing will be executed here only. So I declared a variable number and I assign it is equal to 25. So my condition, if number is greater than 50, then this condition true block that print yes true, this to be executed. But if you see that the number I have declared it is 25, but I am giving the condition if number greater than 50. So do you feel any output will come? No output will come because it is not true. If it is true, then this block will be executed. If it is not true, then some other things should be executed. So if you run this program here, so now I run this program here and you go for this condition statement, you can see the output here. Yeah, it's running 3, 2, 1, 0 and boom. Yeah, it's opening. Yeah, it's the now some. No, it is not the. Which one it is running? It is supposed to be the program. Yeah, this is, you can see the process finished with exit code 0, but there is no output. Can you see it here? So it is going for the this one, but there is no output for this one. Why there is no output? You can clearly understand because the variable I declared number and the value I assigned 25, but I am checking the condition. If the number is greater than 50, then only it will print yes true. But actually the number is not greater than, so in that case what you have to do, I have to go for this else statement also. I have to go for this else statement also. Then once I unblock, uncomment all the things, now I run this program. Let us see. So what is the output it will come? Yes, it is not true. Okay. So now run this program, you can see. So that is the reason why you go for this if else statement, because if only it checks two numbers or two things, and if the condition is true, then only it gives a, it enters to the true block. But if the condition is false, it is the condition is not met, then it will be unable to print any statement. That is the reason. So if you are going for this two, you see, you can clearly see that output it is coming out. That means I am telling if the condition, if you see it here, if number is greater than 50, is it greater than 50 actually? Because our number is 25, it is less than 50. If it is okay, then it is saying yes true. If it is not there, that is, it will go into the else condition, then it is telling not true. The output you got it not true. Okay, right? So in this way you can go for these things. Then I can comment all the things up to this. How do you comment all the things? You remember control shift and forward slash. Okay, so all the things are commented here. Now you check it here. I am going for this next program of learning. So I am going to finding the minimum and maximum between two numbers. Okay, so for this, yeah, you check it here. Yeah, up to this, yeah, up to this control shift and this one. I unblocked all the things. Okay. So now finding minimum or maximum number between two numbers. Okay. So I declare two variables, variable n1 which is 65 and variable n2 which is equal to 75. Now my condition, forget about this thing don't worry at this time. If n1 greater than n2, if n1 greater than n2, then the statement will be executed n1, else it will be n2. It clear? But it will be there, but how I display all the things? Then what I do, all the things I put it in a variable max. So var space max is equal to all these things up to this. Then print line, print a new line, maximum number is a colon, and you put it the dollar and inside the curly braces max. This is the syntax for calling that variable here or using that variable inside any print statement, right? So in this way, if I run this program, what is the output? You see it here. So my number n1 is 65 and the second number n2 is 75. The first one maximum number is telling if n1 greater than n2, it is not true. It is not true because n1 is not, because n1 is 65 and n2 is 75. So n1 is definitely not greater than n2. Then it will go to the next one, else. Else, if this is the condition satisfied, it will enter n1, otherwise it will enter 75. So output will be 75, right? So now you can run it also like this, just right click and you can run the conditional statement and you see the output 3, 2, 1 and 0, boom, the maximum number is 75. You can see it here, the maximum number is 75. Can you see it here? So like this you can do all the things, and I again comment all the things because I am going to run another program for you. Yeah, so control shift and this one I blocked another this thing. Now the above code can be compacted as follows. Say the same thing I can do it here in a very compacted manner. See, just you know, the one of the important thing why we are going for this Kotlin, it is that the codes are very compacted. It is very short. Okay, in Java you are writing all things like, so now the entire thing what you have written, it can be summarized in these 2 lines of codes. Okay, initially you go for declaring the variables. So var n1 is something and n2 is something. Okay, that you put it. Okay, that I put it here, this, and put a star sign here, and these 2 I uncomment. Okay, back. Okay, so I declared variable n1 is 65, variable n2 is 75. That is there. Then what is telling? Put var max if n1 greater than n2. If this is the case, n1 else n2. You see, no need to write all the things. And print line maximum is going to, you get it now? The same output you will get it. You get it now? So now I am running this program. Are you following me? I declared the variable n1 is equal to 65, variable n2 is equal to 75. Then instead of writing all this condition like this, I write var max if the condition is if n1 greater than n2, n1 else n2. There is no need and curly bracket, no need to write anything. Then you assign into the variable max, and print line you go for this and call this $max. Okay, so I am running this program, right click and you go for run this command, then 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow. So again the output is also the maximum number is 75. You can see it here. Again it has successfully run with exit code 0, and the output is also now. Now you are you now clearly you understand how you can go for using this if else statements, all things you can do it here. Now I am going for another thing that I will be telling you about this switch statement. Okay, how to use the switch statement here? Actually switch statement is not there available in this here. Okay, in Kotlin there is no switch statement, so it is replaced by when. It is replaced by when. There is no switch statement. Say I declared var day is equal to 7. There are, you know, there are 7 days in a week. Okay, and var weekdays. So I am doing when day in the statement, which statement, when day, which the variable day what I have given in the curly braces. 1 assigned to Monday, 2 is assigned to Tuesday, up to 7 is assigned to Sundays. Other than else, invalid day numbers. Okay, you put 8, it will not show any number system, right? So now, but initially what I have given, var day is equal to 7. Var day is equal to 7. Then what will be the output? Print line, the day of the week is $weekdays. What is this weekdays? Weekdays is the variable I declared it here. Again I am repeating. So go for declaring a variable day that I assign I is equal to 7. Okay, because I want to check if the number is 7, what is that day Okay, so now using this switch statement, what is the alternative switch statement? That is when I am using. So when day starts 1 to 7 and else I have given it here. When these conditions, whatever the condition is satisfied, when you type 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7, suppose I write instead of 7, if 7, what is the output? Output will come Sunday. Okay, let us run this program and see the output, then we can go to other things. Yeah, I right click here, I right click this program and run this conditional statement. So you can see 3, 2, 1 and boom. See, the day of the week is Sunday. Why the maximum? Because the previous statement it is already on, that's why it is coming. So if you want to close that one, you close it, then it will come. Okay, so because this one already I have done it. So you get it now. The day of the week is Sunday. I have given the number 7 and it has given you the output, the day is Sunday. So like that you can do all the conditional statements. Next we will be moving to our loop. So how do we create a new file? I told you that because we are keeping everything under this pack. The name of how to create a pack, just go to the src, right click and new, then you go for the package. Once you click this package, a new package name I have given pack 1. Okay, like that. Under this pack 1 I want to create some files. Right click, new, go to the Kotlin class files. Right? Don't go for Java because we are not using Java. I am using Kotlin class files. Just click it here, it will ask a name. So I am giving this name loop.kt. Okay, this is the loop.kt. Yeah, I am double clicking, I can get it here. Now you can check it here. Say I am using the for loop here. Initially I will be going with for loop, then I will be going for the while loop. Okay, so now now let me close all the things here up to Control Shift and this one. Now all the things are blocked. Then I go for up to this Control Shift and this one, right? Now let us see. I am using this for loop. Okay, so my package is package one. So I am going for a function and my file name is loop dot. So loop test dot kt, right? So now I created a main function main. Here it started. Because the first time it will start only here, start executing here only. Say suppose I want to get something in a range 1 to 10. So there are two ways you can write 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma up to 10. Otherwise you can do 1 dot dot 2 periods dot dot 10, that will take 1 to 10. So for I in range 1 to 10, print line the value of is $I. So what it will print? It will print 1 next to, because print line is there, no new line, everything it will be creating. So all the things will get. Okay. So this is the thing I will be doing. The second thing I am taking I in 10 down to 1. So initially I am going for the increasing order 1 2 3 4. Suppose I want to do it in the decreasing order, then that instead of 1 dot dot 10 you have to write I in 10 down to, you see this method, down to 1, that means 10 to 1. So print line the value of I is equal to $I, okay, that it will say. So suppose we want to increase the for I in 1 to 10 and step is equal to 2, that means first number will be 1, then after 2 increment it will be 3, then it will be 5, then it will be 7, then will be 9, and there is no 11, so it will stop there. Okay. So all the things you can go for here and you can find it here. Okay. So these things I go for these things, Control Shift and all things. I don't want to run this program. Okay. Now if you run this program, what is the output? Let us check. Okay. So yeah, everything you check it is there. This part is also there. Okay, let us run this program, see what is the output. 3 2 1 0 and boom, there is a error in line number 24. Yeah, so obviously it will be there because we are not following the things. Now we'll do one by one, don't worry. So this thing, yeah, this is not required at this moment for this. So put it here. Now what I need to do, just right click and run this program loopkit. So now you can see the output, still line number 10. Okay, don't worry. So I'll do it one by one because all the things you club together it will create a problem. For I, this one, this is there, then print line the value of I, then from this to this, I put it Control Shift. Okay, this part is there. Okay, so then I started here. There will be two closing braces. Okay, closing braces. One will be here. Okay, one will be here, and the closing braces also star and this one. So this I can you get it now. Now let us see what will happen to this one. That what I am doing, only I am going to print up to this, and I think this one also you can close. Okay, so this one okay. So now if you do all the things, then I am going only to run this one for I in 1 to 10. Okay, all the things. Okay, now right click, then run look it, then what is the output? Okay, still it is showing some error. Where is the error? This is the first thing, and this is the second thing. One, this is closed here. I don't see. Okay, so there is small curly braces are there. I think it is one. Okay, don't worry, this curly braces will put it here. So put a curly braces here. Your job is over. Why to worry about all things, right? So then for this thing we put it here. Okay, then in that case you remove this and go up to this. Okay, so shift star and forward slash, just the number of braces it is to be properly checked, right? So run this thing and you can have it here. Still it is showing number 5. Where is that line number 5? Print line the value of I is $I. What is the problem? Okay, put one more because he is unable to do all the things. Okay, so run this program. Yeah, you will get the output. That's not an issue. There is maybe some braces, something it is showing something. Yeah, you can see it here. It has started. The first value is 1, and the value of I is equal to 2. I to 1 to 10, and it has created successful because the braces problem, because I am putting it here at the end, and already I commented it. That's why it was unable to recognize that one. Okay, so these things you can do it here up to this, right? So similarly, suppose I want to do the second one. In that case, what we do? Just you start it here. Okay, this up to where is that one? Last one, print up. Yeah. So all the things, and you control shift and this one you put it there. So then what I do, I uncomment this one, and after this I put two curly braces. Okay, 1 and 2. Clear? Now you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing the reverse one. It is 10 to 1, 10 to 1. Okay. So if I do all the things, then what is the output? Let us see on this program and get it here. So 3, 2, 1, 0, and it is showing some at error at 7. Print line, it started here for this is okay. Expecting a top level declaration. Okay, you see here something like that. So for I, yeah, you have to put it here. It seems it doesn't understand this thing. So this started here. Oh my god, I did some mistake here. Yeah, why this is already have done? No, why you are doing? Delete it. One message. So this thing is there now. Okay. So now you can clearly see there it is here for that one. Yeah, now it is here, and this is the braces we have given for yeah, this you have to put it here, it seems. Yeah, you have to put the curly brace here, right? Yeah, now it is there. So now what you have to do? So run this loop. So now what is the output? Just you expect, just you guess and tell me what is the output. So it will be in the reverse order. It will be coming 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So remember two things. If you want to do, okay. So do it is 1 to 10, then 1 space dot dot you can do it here. If you want to do in the reverse order, then 10 down to 1. Okay. These are the things only you have to remember. Okay. Similarly, okay, this thing I up to this I put it under this control shift and this thing, right? So now I'm going for I am going for a step of 2. Okay, increasing the step of 2. Yeah, for these things I started here, and I remove this one back. So now it's fine. So if I, because it started here for main function, it started here, and it is starting for I is equal to this and all base everything there, right? Control S, and you just try to run this program. What will the output? The output, it is the 1 range 10, 1 to 10. So in the step of 2, first number will come 1, then it will come 3, like that it will come. So go for the running this loop kit. Once you run this loop kit, you can see it here on the step size it will come 2, it is 1. Yeah, it's in the number 9, it is showing something. Yeah, I think you are missing one more versus you have to put it here. Now it's fine. You can run this program and you can have it 3, 2, 1, 0, and boom, you can see it here 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, why it is not going 11? Because only you have taken a range from 1 to 10. Okay, now let us go for sum of numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, so we declared a variable s initialized to 0, and for I in 1 range 20, it is 1 to 20, it is equivalent to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma up to comma 20, right? So then s is equal to s plus I. So you are going for the increment. First one is 0 plus 1 plus 1, like that. Okay. Then print line. sum is $sum, $s. Okay, so this what will happen? So it will make the sum from 1 to 20. You get it now? So how easily and how compact it is done? You see, we declared a variable var s, that is initialized to 0. So for I in range 1 to 20, then s is equal to s plus I, s is equal to s plus I, and print line sum is $s. Okay. So if you run this program, you right click it here and run this program, run look it. So you can see the sum is coming to 10. Okay, because you know up to 20 into 21 by 2, that is 21 into 10, 20 by 2 is equal to 10, 21 into 10 it is 210. So 1 to 20 their summation will be 210. You get it now? So in this way you can find the sum of all the things. Similarly, another thing is that suppose I put it here, I go for this thing and control shift and these things I remove. Then I am going to use the while statement. Okay. In the while statement, what do we do? You see, I uncomment all the things. Now, because this program already I have written for you, just I am explaining so that you can save side time instead of wasting our time for writing this program. So I declare variable I is equal to 1, and while the condition is true, then I equal to 11. That means it will go on, because I plus plus it is an increment. It will go on increasing up to what? When I is equal to 11, it will break. That means it will stop writing. Then what is the output? It will be there. So it will print I. What is the initial I? I is equal to 1. Then increment 1. What is the next I? It will be 2. What is the next? It is 3. Next up to then it is 10. Okay. But when it is 11, it will stop. It will break. No output it will come. Okay. Let us run this program. So right click and run this program. Look it and you see 3, 2, 1, 0, and boom, you can see the output it here, and our output it is coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, if you are interested, you can take it here also. You can see 11 is not executed. Why? Because I have given if I equal to 11, then break. You get it now? So you can use this while statement here also. In this manner we can do. Okay. So then another thing is that we can go for some input, taking input from this. Okay. So what do we do? So for that you do the same thing. You see, you go to the project here, and here you go to the package. In the package, right click and create another thing, that is the input example. Okay, create that input example. You can see the file name I have given input example and under Kotlin. Okay, so what is telling? Okay, these things, the second part I just disable this one. This part I comment it here up to this, control shift and this one. Yeah, I am going to activate the first one. Just I will put my name. I will enter my name. It will take the output and give to us. Okay. So now what I do? So package this one. Here we are going for this part is not necessary here. This part is not necessary here. Then what I am going to do? So just I declared my function. Yeah, this part where print sum is what somewhere. This ever know why it is coming. Look it. We have to go for input. Yeah, it is here. So yeah, so what I am going to do it here? So the same main function it is there we are having. So print line, enter your name. So to read that, you have to use this method that is called read line. Okay, and that I assign to a variable name. Okay, so first to read line, what you are entering there in the keyboard, enter your name. I am writing my name is Gunamani. Okay, that it will read using this read line command, read line method. Okay, so after reading, it will store in a variable name is name. Okay, then print line hello comma $name. Then what is your name? You are giving the input. The same thing will be displayed hello Gunamani or something like that. Okay. Now let us run this program and see what is the output. So for this, just you run this program. Yeah, 3, 2, 1 and 0 is asking enter your name. Okay. So I am writing my name. My name is Gunamani, Gunamani, Gunamani. So once you enter, you are telling hello Gunamani. Can you see here the output? Yeah. So that means what are the input you are giving? Okay, using this input, using the scanner also, how you can take all the input and put it to any variable. You can go for the various operations that will learn in the last part of this video, right? So now whatever things I have written for you that I commented, for commenting you know the shortcut control shift and forward slash. Okay, so it is commented. That is for multiple line comments. You remember? Okay, single line comments it is double forward slash. For a multiple, you know all the things I already explained you. So now for on commenting also the same thing. control shift and forward slash, it's okay. Now what I am using, I using this scanner. See, I declared a variable SC, that is scanner system dot, you can see it here. So for this, when the system dot you put it here, so it will be coming in, there you press the function, okay. Once you press the function, so this is a special symbol, it will come like this, okay. This is not the single quote or double quote, okay. So that once it come, then print line enter n1. So now you are entering the n1. N1 means for the variable n1 you are giving some number, first number, and the variable n1 sc dot next int, that you are using sc. What is sc? Where sc is equal to scanner system. I already in this function we already what are the number we are putting, that already scanned. Then in this I assigning to this n1. The similar way I am assigning something to the n2 also. Then you can go for sum of the two numbers is $n1 plus n2, okay. Now if you are comfortable, in this case you have to import the Java utility, the scanner one, without that it will not work. So what I have to do, you have to activate this one, okay. So now once I run this program, you see it here, run this, this is input, okay. On this input example, and it is running 3, 2, 1 and 0, yeah, the enter n1. So I put the n1, I am putting 84, okay. My number, first number is 84, second number of course I will be putting 16 because I want to make 100 round number. So your the sum of the two numbers is 100. You got it now? So now in this way, whatever the input you want to give to the keyboard, so that you can do using these things, these functions, right? So now this is the thing. The next thing, we are most probably going for the various operators, and finally you go for the function, okay. Now let us focus on these operators in Kotlin. Now let us go for the operators in the, for these operators also what you do, you go to the pack one, right click and create, just do like this, click, right click and you go to the new, in the new Kotlin class file, okay. Once you click that, it will ask a name, you give this operator kotlin.kit, okay. This is the file, it is appearing in front of you, okay. Suppose I already told you the difference between var and val. Var means you can change it. Suppose I declared var is equal to var a is equal to 30, and after that I am giving a is equal to 45. What is the latest one? It will take. But once you declare val, you are trying to assign it again. It will not accept it, just like a constant. It will not accept that one. So it will say it's to show some error. So I say for example val name colon string Gunamani. That means your name is, are you changing your name every day? You are not changing your name every day. You know, your name is fixed one. So that way, say suppose tomorrow I give no, my name is Ashok, it will reject. No, your name is only Gunamani. So now what I am to do, variable val a is equal to 30, val b is equal to 35 I am giving. Now I am going for operation of all the things, okay. Now let me unblock all the things up to, okay, don't worry. So I will be removing this thing, back and back, right. So I can go for all these operators, a plus b, a minus b, a into b, a division b, and a modulo b, and a equal to operator b. It will come true or false, something like that. Then a greater than b. So all the things you can see it here. Okay. So these things how you do. Let us see. Okay. Now right click and run this program, operators.kotlin.kt, operation underscore kotlin.kt. So if you check it here, say what are the numbers? It is showing expecting some elements here. Yeah, this you have to remove. This is showing some error, that is the thing, right? Okay. So save it here and again run this program. Okay, run this program operator. Yeah, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Yeah, fine. You can see it here. When I'm going for that, when I'm going for, so what are the main variables? Two variables I have given. So if you see it here, the variables are a is equal to 30, b is equal to 5. So when I'm going for plus, a plus b is equal to 35. When I'm going for minus, 30 minus 5, it is equal to 25. When I'm going for multiplication, 30 into 5, that is 150. When I'm going for division, 30 divided by 5, so 30 divided by 5, it is coming 6, right, division. When I go for modulo, it is divisible, so the residue will come 0, okay. And if you are going for a equal to b, is it that a equal to b? No, a is not equal to, so it will come false, okay. Then if a greater than b, yes, a is greater than b, it will come true, okay. Like that, suppose you are going for other things also, you can do it here, okay. So print line negation of true. What is the negation of true? Is false, it has come. Similarly also you can go for the logical operator, a equal to b, a greater than b, all the things you can also do, right. So this is the basically the various operations. You know the type of operators are there, one is the arithmetic operator, one is the logical operator, one is the assignment operator. What is the assignment operator? You are writing val a is equal to 30. So is this equal to the this is the assignment operator. Okay. So these are the various operators we are using it there. I hope you will be comfortable with this all the things, the operators and all things. Next we are moving to the function, which is the most important part of here. So while you are going to the function here also, yeah, you go for this function dot kt. Now, how do you declare a function? You see, there will be at least one main function because the program start execution from that one only. And you can have a number of function also in addition to that one. Those function you can call inside the main function. Okay. For example, I write the function, the name I can give it do sum. I am writing it here function. The name I give do sum. Then what are the parameters I am passing? N1 is integer and N2 is integer and finally it is integer. Then variable s, then s is equal to N1 plus N2. That s is the sum. You can't return s. Okay. This is the return type. Are you following me? So I declared a function. My function name is do sum and I am passing the parameters N1 and N2. N1 colon integer comma N2 colon integer comma, and this do sum what I am doing, that is also integer. Okay. And finally I am putting var s, var space s, and I am adding this N1 and N2 and I return s. Okay. So this is the thing, I created a function. This function I want to call inside the main function. In the main function what I do, so I call that function. What is that function name? Do sum, and here I am assigning N1 is equal to 56 and N2 is equal to 78. Okay. This same thing I assign to another variable, that is sum, and I put var sum is equal to this one, and print line the sum is dollar sum. Then I call this one. You get it now? So it is so easy for declaring a function and calling this function and using it inside the main function. I hope you have gone through and you have understood all these things in the Kotlin, and we have in a very compacted class, in a very compacted manner, we have covered almost all the things, what is the basic things required for our Kotlin. Now in our next video we will be going for this developing apps using Android Studio and using this Kotlin. Thank you for watching this video, and also if you like these things you can share it and give a thumbs up, and you can also share with your friends, and you can give a like button, like also to this one also. And if you, thank you for watching this video. And also please don't forget to subscribe this video also, so that all the latest and new things what I will be preparing, it will come to you first. Thank you.